What, honey?
Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to August. Super excited for a fresh new month. I know I told a couple people, at least my person enrolled and a couple of my leaders running, that this summer has been a summer that I have zero regrets for
You want
taking
me
a lot
to
of
help
time
open
spending and
it so it
making
doesn't
memories
spill
with my
everywhere?
kids. Um, but it's not this most what are the words I'm looking for? I haven't worked my business as I do during the fall and when they're at school full-time hours. And my paycheck shows that, and that's okay. But August, I know I'm committing to getting back on the ball. I'm even on vacation, still up north at Torch Lake, and have my tracker right here. Um, I have been working in the mornings and even at nighttime. And so I'm excited to just get my personal business up and rolling. And I know a couple of people have kind of admitted to the same thing and are ready to go. So maybe you're not like me. Maybe you haven't taken kind of stepped back a little bit for the summer. Kudos to you. Don't let my story impact what you're doing now. But I'm excited to run again with everybody else and hopefully get some more people back and excited and enrolling as well. So anyway, all that to be said, I am going to mute myself out. And if you saw on the flyer, Cory is actually going to share a bit tonight. Cory is my husband. If you're watching the replay, I think everybody on here live has probably met him before. Um, so he's going to share a little bit about, well, I think the power of no and a few other tidbits. He was making some notes. I don't even know what to expect, but we'll do great. I'm going to mute myself out
Be
and
scared.
yeah, we'll touch base afterwards.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I want to take just a little bit of time and talk about something that I am super passionate about. I've been talking to Mickey about this stuff for a long time. I may have even talked about it a little bit during a team call, but I got some validation even after the Grand Rapids event. Vic and Jenya and a few other people came over, Tara and her team, and we were talking about no. We were talking about the power of the word no. And Vic was talking about it. If you don't all know Vic, I'm sure you do. He's the life of the party. But Vic was talking about it in terms of him being a salesman. That is who he is. He is a salesman of really large equipment. And I talk about the power of the word no from some reading that I've done. I've read the book a couple times. I need to read it again right now. So we're going to talk about a lot of the content I'm going to talk about tonight is from this book right here that I would highly recommend. It is always in my backpack. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Has anybody read it? Like, show of hands, anybody? Okay. Chris, I'll just give you a quick summary. He is a former FBI hostage negotiator. He was the top hostage negotiator in the world. And the concept of the book is that all of life is a negotiation. Like everything we do is a negotiation. Now it can get a little overkill, and I may have taken it too far from time to time with the kids, thinking, oh, this is a negotiation and I'm going to win it. But it is. We're all trying to get our way. We're trying to get to the final answer. We're trying to get to a commitment or to a purchase or whatever it is. Everything is negotiation. So he really takes his learnings from being a FBI hostage negotiator and transforms them into the business world. Talks about them in a business sense. So again, highly recommend the book. He's also a great public speaker. So I'm sure the audio book is great. I don't get knowledge quite as easy when I listen to an audiobook as if I read it because I really have to try when I read, and when I'm just listening, it kind of just goes by sometimes. But anyways, he's a great public speaker. You can find him on YouTube. Some of these talks, his tidbits are on YouTube. I don't know if it's his own channel or not, but just look up Chris Voss. It's the only thing he does. You're not going to find anything else about him. He is a hostage negotiator and he talks about it a ton. Okay. So that's where the premise of this is coming from. I'm going to talk about getting the power of the word no in two, I guess, different contexts. I'll start with kind of the idea, why no is powerful, how it works in negotiation. I'll give you some of my own thoughts and a little bit of the actual writings from the book. And then we'll also take a minute and just talk about how I think about no. This is not Chris's teaching, but how I think about no as it relates to leadership. You are all leaders, or you are all on your journey of leadership. We all are. I'm a leader in the work I do in my real world. And I always think about the leadership journey, never having a beginning and an end necessarily. You are always on it. And I think no really plays a big part in that journey. So I'll talk about that. Okay. I am prepared. I have notes. So first, I want to talk about no as it relates to negotiation, right? I don't know about you all. I definitely get sick of saying no, right? And I want to ensure you that that's not what this is. I'm not here to tell you to say no or teach you how to say no. With the kids around, I get sick of saying no all the time. That's not who we want to be. We're all really good at it. I know Mickey's really good at it. She tells me no for all kinds of stuff that I want to do. Or she tells me yes quite a bit too. But I don't want to dig too big of a hole for myself. Anyways, it's not what this is about. I'm not trying to tell you that you have to say no. What we're going to talk about is trying to get somebody else to say no in your conversation with them and the power of them saying no. So first, I just want to read just one little tidbit or little snippet here about no. Saying no, again, this is from Chris Voss. Saying no makes the speaker feel safe, secure, in control, so we should trigger it. By saying what they don't want, your counterpart defines their space and gains confidence and comfort to listen to you. That's why is now a bad time to talk is always better than do you have a few minutes to talk, right? It's very easy. And there's a bunch of scenarios that we can talk through like that. It's very easy if you give somebody the opportunity to say yes and it's a negative outcome. Again, the example he just gave is now a bad time to talk. Yeah, it's a bad time. Just shut that conversation down, right? Or is money tight? Yeah, money's tight. Guess what? It is. Now you just shut that conversation down. Rather, if you said something like, do you have a few minutes to talk? They might say, they're either going to say yes, boy, you just achieved your goal, right? Now you can talk. Or they might say, no, now's not a good time. No, now is not a good time. Or no, I don't. Well, now that opens you up to be able to ask another question. You can say, well, can you give me 2 times that work for you, for your schedule, right? Or again, you can continue the conversation. So that's just one example of the power of the word no. Like I said, I haven't read this book in a little while, but there's a whole lot of psychology that goes on in making a person feel safe by using the word no first, right? So allow that it's really a power shift. When you allow somebody to say no or to answer with a no, now they have the power or they feel like they have the power, whether it's perceived or not. Now I'll warn you, this book sold, I don't know, millions of copies. So people are getting smart to this, and especially people who work in the corporate world. Like a lot of people that I see, or a lot of emails that I get, a lot of marketing emails, they'll use this thought process to try and trick you to get you to buy their stuff. So once you know about it, you start paying attention to it and you'll see it. Okay. I want to read one more piece in here. I was going to do 3 of them, but I'm going to read one more. So this is maybe really relevant to one thing that I think we all struggle with in the world, in this business, struggle with a lot, and that's people who don't reply, ghosting, right? That's a place that you can really leverage these techniques, in my opinion, paired with one other technique that I'll talk about, which is, I have it written down here, labeling somebody. Okay, so it says, sometimes the only way to get your counterpart to listen and engage with you is by forcing them into a no. That means intentionally mislabeling one of their emotions or desires and asking a ridiculous question. This is my favorite thing. I ask ridiculous questions all the time. Like, it seems like you want this project to fail. That can only be answered negatively, right? It seems like you want this project to fail. No, I don't. Like, no one is going to say yes, right? So as soon as you get them to say no, or it seems like Mickey gets frustrated with me how many times I say it seems like. and it will feel repetitive to you, but trust me, it's a single conversation with one person. So if you had a person who maybe was talking about their health journey, right? And you thought you were starting to get somewhere and they didn't reply to you, and they haven't replied to you for 3 or 4 days. You could say something like, "Oh, it seems like you've given up on your health journey." Is anybody in their right mind going to say, "Yes, I have. I mean, I just ate 3 tubs of ice cream. Yeah, I gave up on it." No, they're going to say, "No, I haven't. What are you talking about?" And they will reply to you, right? And I challenge every one of you to try this. Take some people that you don't know. You don't know them, like, or they're fringe friends, right? Maybe you barely know them and they're not responding to you. And think about what you can say to get them to say no, right? Think about how you can ask a question that labels them. Oh, it seems like you gave up on being healthy, or it seems like you used your money somewhere else. You have the people who said, yeah, next Friday, I'm going to get paid and I'm going to buy some of this stuff. Well, they didn't answer Friday, or they didn't answer Sunday. On Monday, say, oh, it seems like you spent your money on something else. No, I didn't. They'll get defensive and they will reply to you. And it starts that conversation again. So it is a very powerful tool. And again, I really encourage you to use it. I encourage you to get the book or I'll see if I can find a video and I'll send it to Mickey and have her share it around that specifically talks about getting to a no. Okay. I can even take some pictures of the summary of this chapter and send it out. It won't give you all the context, but it will help. Okay. I feel like I apologize. I do feel like I stumbled through that a little bit. I want to shift now and talk about no as a way to understand your leadership focus. This is something that maybe is more my idea, so less important that I get it right, exactly what he says. Like I said earlier, we're all on our own leadership journey, right? And one of the easiest things to do as a leader, or one of the easiest ways to feel like you're a leader, is to be busy, to be answering questions, to be solving problems for people, right? The busier you are, the more important you must be. I fall into that trap every day. And I will say this is easier to talk about than it is to put into practice, but I'll challenge you all to put it into practice. It's my opinion that to grow your leadership capability, to grow the autonomy of your team, to grow the capability of those who are coming up through the organization, you have to be willing to say no more often. You have to be willing to say, I can't do that for you right now. Or I've done that for you 3 times. I need to teach you one more time how to do it, and you need to do it, and you need to duplicate it. Right? I think if anybody told me this was untrue, I would think you're a liar. There's been lots of times when you get a message and you say, no, I can't do that. In your head, you say, no, I shouldn't. No, that's not for me to do. Like, they should know how to do it by now. When you have that feeling, that means that you have a lapse in organizational leadership, right? You don't have a team who's prepared to succeed on their own. And that's an opportunity for you to grow them. So to grow that team and to help people leverage their own capabilities. So it's really that simple. As soon as somebody asks you, and this happens to me every day at work, right? One of my leaders will come to me and say, hey, I've got this problem. And in my head, I'm thinking, no, you need to solve this problem. Like, you can't come to me every time. So one way to do it, you can't just tell people no, right? That's kind of tough to do. So one way to manage the situation is to turn it around into a question, right? If you have one of your team members that comes to you and says, hey, can you build this graphic for me? Turn it around and say, well, have you ever built one of those graphics? What software do you build graphics in? Right? How would you approach that problem? Get them talking about it, and eventually teach them that they know how to do it. A lot of times it's just the confidence to go do the work, right? Building a graphic may be a bad example. Maybe a more poignant example, and something that can speed up the organization, any organization we're in, is how to respond to some conversation, right? And this doesn't mean that you all shouldn't bounce around ideas and ask, oh, how would you respond to this? Or how would you respond to that? But just giving somebody the answer every time when Mickey texts me and says, Cory, how would you respond to this? I'm thinking, no, I respond to all your messages for you. I don't know, Mickey, how would you approach it? Right? How have you approached it in the past? Ask questions to get to help somebody gain the confidence to go and be a leader for themselves, or to be really active in their own business. Um, again, it's a lot easier to talk about than it than it is to actually do. You have to. I talk a lot about calibrating your eyes or calibrating your ears. You have to calibrate your ears to this. You have to, or text messages. You have to calibrate your eyes, as it were. You have to be willing to say, "Oh, I shouldn't just give them the answer. I should turn that around into a question. I should say, well, how would you approach this? Or, what software would you do this in?" And, get people more and more independent. That will speed up your business greatly. And then you start to teach them this stuff and help them duplicate it, right? That's the entire power of this business is duplication. So you can't do it all. And it starts with a no. From a leadership perspective, it's kind of a no in your heart. Like, no, I shouldn't do this for them. When you say that or get frustrated, that's your opportunity to turn it around and ask really, really good questions. Okay, that's about all that I prepared, probably underprepared. But if you guys have a few minutes and you want, Mickey says usually these are about 30 minutes, but ask questions. Let's talk through stuff. Or if you have any people who maybe have ghosted you in the past and you want to take 5 or 6 minutes, this is like my favorite part, and talk about how you might approach the problem, or how you might send a message that might unghost people. I'm all for challenging the techniques and bouncing some ideas around.
Don't everyone unmute at once, but I know it's awkward when you say that and then nobody does unmute. And
Well, I'll unmute. I just have a whiny crying baby in Liam. I'm trying to get to bed, so I had to turn my camera off. But so what would you say, Cory, when you have, people that are here and they're excited and they had the vision like so strong and they've messaged dozens and dozens of people and they're like, okay, nobody's responding. How would you help empower them, or challenge them to reach back out, like bring old people new information? Like, what would you say to spark that conversation back up?
So you're talking specifically about sparking energy back into a current brand partner. You're not necessarily talking about.
Well, because I think that having them, I think action sparks energy, right? So I feel like how can we help people, myself included, get into action and start messaging those old people, bringing old people new information. But like, what is a message you would send to, open up a conversation that's 6 months dead?
Okay, I'm going to clarify this just one more time. You want to open the conversation back up with a brand partner, or you want the brand partner to open the conversation back up with a prospect or a product prospect?
So if I have 20 people I messaged last December about Reset or about a product, and they were really excited, they were going to order and they didn't, and they ghosted me 3 times in the last 6 months, how would I go back to them and message them again? What would you say?
So if somebody was really excited about being a brand partner, right, you might message them and say, it's all, you can label them, and you can label them incorrectly. And a matter of fact, the more incorrectly you label them, the more likely they are to reply. So you could say something like, it seems like you gave up on your financial dreams, or seems like you gave up on your independence from work your dreams of being independent from day-to-day work. Right?
Ooh, I like that.
Something that labels them, that calls them out and says, this is what I think is going on with you. And you're either going to be right or wrong. And if you're wrong, they're going to tell you you're wrong.
But it opens the
At least they
conversation.
responded to you.
Yep. Okay. So how about somebody that was interested in products and
it's so circumstantial, but you can say, it seems like you gave up on your health journey.
okay.
Right? Or if you say I think it might be easier to say things that maybe I wouldn't say. this one's a little borderline, but I might not say, it seems like you found a different product to help you along the way of your health journey. Because it's
Okay, so-
really easy for them to say, yep, I did. Done. Even if they're lying to you. But if you
Right.
said, oh, it sure seems to me like you gave up on your health journey.
No, I didn't. I've just been busy,
Yeah,
but at
screw
least they're
you,
gonna
Sarah.
respond,
You don't know
right?
what you're talking about.
Right,
They'll be
okay,
so angry, they have to reply. That you're not trying to get people angry. You're just trying to get them engaged in the conversation.
right.
That's why I encourage you with any of this to start with people you don't really know that well.
Okay, thank you.
Might not want to, hit up grandpa or grandma. Does anybody have any real life? Like, I got somebody 3 months ago and they won't respond to me. We had a conversation. Like, they can give 2 minutes of context and we can.
I got one for you, Cory.
All right, Tara.
I have somebody who's been sitting on the fence about joining the business since February, and I can't get her to jump off the fence. Like it's almost like she keeps coming up with excuses, but like
How many different excuses?
my
Money?
husband wants me, I want to do the products. My husband wants me to use the products for 30 days before I commit to them. It initially started with, I'm going to buy some more products. And then it literally took her 3 months to buy. And I followed up with her all those 3 months. But it's like, she came to me saying, my kids are going to school. It's time for me to start, working and figuring out something. And this is what I want to do. And it's like, girl, you said you wanted to do this in February and you're still on the fence about it. And it's like, I almost want to tell her, like, we could have made you a couple $100 by now.
Hey, Tara, it seems like you have a hard time making big decisions.
Oh, that's a good one.
Seems like you have a hard time committing to changing your life.
Okay. Well, and now her excuse is, I just have to get my husband on board. He's not sure about it. Like, I just feel like every time I follow up with her, it's a different excuse.
And then you could say, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, honey. Don't just.
Hey, I'm not going there. I've been there 2 months. The husband one's a tough one, but I would say, hey, it seems like your husband's a skeptic. It's all about uncovering the truth here, right? Labeling
Right.
incorrectly, right? It seems like your husband's afraid that you'll make too much money, more money than him. I mean, you could do something that crazy, right? It depends on how well you know these people, but it's all about getting to the truth. All of us hide behind, false walls and lies, and like, how many people that actually tell you they don't have enough money to buy it don't have enough money? Not everybody, I promise you that. How many people are really waiting for Friday for their paycheck? No, we all get paid on Wednesdays. Like, you're just trying to get to the truth. And the easiest way to uncover the truth is by labeling them with something that is incorrect and getting them to tell you no, getting them to tell you you're wrong, because then they'll tell you what is the truth. This isn't 100% like, it's going to happen, but I was reading through this a minute ago, and I'll get the study a little bit wrong, but there was a neat part. There's a whole chapter dedicated. It's called Beware, Yes, Master, No. It's more important to get to the no. There was a whole chapter in here about a fundraising script that a candidate for office, now's the season for that, for crying out loud, was talking about. They were using the script to raise funds to try and, get their candidate elected. They had a yes script, right? A script that said that the old mentality was, we want people to say yes, yes, yes. And then when I ask them for money, they're in this yes mentality and they're going to give me money, right? So I won't read through the whole script, but they rewrote the script to get to a no script. The idea being getting somebody to say no, 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 answer no a bunch of times. And then they asked them for money at the end. The no script returned a 23% increase in donations. Look, this isn't I'm going to get 100% now. Nothing is in life, right? You're not going to get everybody on board, but it was a 23% increase. That's marketable. That's huge, right? Now they're making 1,000,000 calls a day, or 1,000 calls a day or whatever. So there's a ton of research there. You're not everybody's gonna tell you yes all of a sudden and sign up and buy a bunch of product, but I guarantee you can reignite conversations, and you can get more people on board. Okay, I'll just say one more thing, then I'll kick it back to Mickey to wrap it up. My inbox is open. If you want to talk through scenarios, or if you've got somebody bugging you, or not bugging you, not responding or whatever, just shoot me a message. I'm happy to talk about it. I'll give you some thoughts, some ideas on how to respond. But in the world of leadership, I'll only do it for about 2 weeks for each person, and then you're done. You get to go on your own. I would go on longer than that, but I do want to empower you to practice and be able to use the techniques yourself and respond to you.
Awesome. Thank you. I saw some laughs in that and some agreements and some chats. So I think that was well received. The power of no, and just getting people switching their mindset a little bit. Like where he said, it's a lot more psychological than anything, but it's easier for people to say no, which just sounds weird because I have a hard time telling people no. But when it's questions like this, it does give them more power, and it opens, or it allows the conversation to continue to stay open and ask different questions. So awesome. Thank you, Cor. Thank you, ladies, for hopping on. I will get this recording into YouTube and posted in our team page so you guys can share it with your teams, and check back for some of those script ideas he gave you guys. So, all right. Does anyone have anything else they want to add, or any questions before we hop off?
Thank you.
I don't know where you can send it, but I am going to follow up with the video of Chris. So I'd just recommend to watch. He's good to watch.
I'll put it in the comments of this post once I get it posted on the page. Awesome. All right.
Thank you, Cory.
See you guys.